Good afternoon, second grade. Today we are going to be doing a collage and you're going to be needing some of the supplies I'll show you. You're probably going to need a pair of scissors and I would suggest probably a glue stick. If you go with the bottle of glue, you might end up with a big old mess because some friends are not really good at making tiny dots. So we're going to start with a black piece of paper because we're going to use some colored paper strips to make this collage. And I'm going to call this a paper tab collage because this is going to involve a little bit of paper sculpture. And we're going to show you how to make tabs. And when you have a strip of paper, you might start out with a strip like this. We want to go from this to this because this stands up and this is 3D, which is pretty cool. But I need to teach you how to make these tabs. They're very handy when you're doing paper sculptures, and we're going to use them to do our collage today. So if you already have some pre-cut strips, they might be short or long, different sizes. It doesn't really matter. You can cut your own, or you can have pre-cut ones, but you're going to want to get a variety of colors because that's what makes this really special. So today, the first thing you're going to be using is your scissors probably. Now, when you are cutting your little tabs, it's very important that you do not cut all the way through, or you're going to end up with a shorter and shorter piece of art. This one right here is probably about this big when I started. So let's see if I can make that happen again. So I'm going to move those guys out of the way. Take my scissors, and I'm going to start on the same side. All my cuts are going to be on the same side. And I'm going to cut almost all the way through. You'll see I didn't cut all the way through, did I? If you get really close to the other side though, it could just rip off, so be very careful. And you have to decide if you want them to be all about the same width. So these kind of look about the same. If you want to get really fancy, you could use a ruler and kind of measure them out beforehand with a pencil. But I'm just going to do the eyeball it trick where I guess. Okay. So what we just cut is we cut a fringe. Now we're going to take this fringe and we're going to turn it into tabs. I'm going to start on this side. I'm going to lift the first one and fold it up. Then I'm going to skip one. I'm going to fold this one up. So those guys are sticking straight up, see? I'm going to skip one. And I'm going to fold the next one up. And I'm going to skip one more and fold this one up. And for the amount that I folded, the last one doesn't get folded up yet. So those guys all got folded up. Right now it doesn't lay flat because the back side needs to be folded. So what I'm going to do, here's where we started. I'm going to just lay these guys down. So this is kind of tricky. You might need a friend to help you. These guys that we did not fold, we're going to fold them now. We're going to fold them opposite. So we're going to fold them back. And your paper might try to wiggle around on you, that's okay. Now I have all these lovely tabs. They're folded opposite ways, kind of looks like a checkerboard. And you can see up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. There is one little paper strip tab, all ready for you guys to decide where you're gonna glue them down. So with the tabs, I recommend you use a glue stick. And I already have some that are made. I'm just gonna start out with 3. You can see with this light green one here, I did it really, really tiny. So the tinier you cut, the harder it might be. It might take a little bit longer. And this one, I didn't all on the same side. So I did not fold them on different sides, and I'll show you what kind of shape I can make with this. So if you do all on the same side, look what kind of fun shape you get. Oh yeah, it looks like a sun or a flower or a circle. So I want to see 3 paper strips at least on your papers. You guys can decide how many you want to use. If you go too crazy, there might be a problem. So you can decide if you want them wiggling around, if you want to keep them in more of a straight line. This one's pretty big. I might decide to shorten this one a little bit. And now I have a smaller one. So it's up to you. So if I start with this one, I'm going to put my glue stick on my tabs. If you do more than 3, it might take you a longer time in the art room. And if you make a ton of them, you're not going to get them all glued down in one class. So I would suggest just start with 3. But you don't have to get all 3 glued down. If you put your name on your paper strip, we can leave it in the box for the next time you're in class. Okay, I want to have this sun shape right around here. And it's my job to make sure I've used enough glue. Okay, now this one I want to put somewhere on the bottom. Yeah, I think that's a great spot. And this one I'll put up here. And that does leave me room to add maybe a smaller thing up here. It's really up to you. But it's my job to glue everything down. Now, if you are feeling confident and you're well behaved and you're using your glue bottles, you could do tiny baby glue dots. As an art teacher, I know how to make tiny dots. So I don't have to use the glue stick for everything, but if you make a big old glob, that could be quite messy. And you can change how your lines go on your paper. For tiny, tiny little ones, it might be tricky when you use your glue stick. It might be tricky when you use your bottle. It's up to you, and it's up to your teacher to see what she wants you to use. I'm gonna try my glue stick because there's not a lot of space to put tiny glue dots on this guy. And so I'm just gonna put my glue here on the bottoms of my tabs. Maybe you want to remember, you can call them little feet. Put the glue on the bottom of the feet so the piece stands up. Now, you're not going to see me overlapping this. I'm not going to put this on top. I'm going to give it its own little space in my artwork. So it's living up in here. Maybe it curls around a little bit. There we go. It's got its own space. And if I finish this much on the first day, well, I could probably fit another one in here maybe later. Maybe the next time I come into class, I could fit this guy here. If I want to just stick with 3, that's fine. And the cool thing about this is you could have this any direction you want and it's going to look awesome. I could stop right here and say, wow, my project is done. I have all 3. And if you've spent 2 days on it and you have some quality work and it doesn't look sloppy, you can be really proud of yourself. I'm going to use a white crayon to write my name on this black paper. All set and ready to take home. So good luck with your paper sculpting. You might want to take a day and practice how to make your tabs. You guys might want to take a day and practice on making your paper strips. So it's up to your teacher to decide when they want to start on this. Do your best. Make good choices with my scissors. Make good choices with your glue. Make sure your caps go back on and they get snapped. Make sure you are closing your glue and wiping the top of it off. We don't want any nasty glue bottles. Boys and girls, good luck with your collages.